Most people spend their lives trying to be understood by others. They adjust their personality depending on the room they enter. They learn what earns approval and what creates rejection. But very few people stop to ask one uncomfortable question. What if the version of you that feels accepted is not the real you? What if the real you only appears when nobody is watching? This is the psychological truth people avoid because it changes everything. Most human behavior is driven by the fear of losing connection. From childhood, we learn that love often comes with conditions. Good behavior gets rewarded, while honesty can create distance. So people slowly build emotional masks without realizing it. They become experts at performing instead of existing naturally. A quiet child becomes funny to survive awkward environments. An emotional person becomes cold after repeated disappointment. Someone who feels insecure learns to appear confident constantly. Over time, the performance becomes stronger than the original identity. This creates a strange kind of loneliness inside many people. They may have relationships, yet still feel emotionally unseen. They may receive praise, yet secretly feel disconnected from themselves, because validation cannot satisfy a person hiding their true emotions. One of the deepest psychological truths is that people rarely fear failure. What they truly fear is rejection. After failure becomes visible. That is why many people never fully express their potential. They are not avoiding pain alone, they are avoiding exposure. A person can tolerate struggle when nobody is judging them. But judgment creates emotional danger inside the human mind. The brain often interprets social rejection as a survival threat. That is why embarrassment feels physically painful to many people, why they remain in relationships that no longer fulfill them, why they abandon dreams that once felt deeply meaningful. The fear of disapproval quietly controls countless life decisions. Social media has intensified this psychological pattern dramatically. People now present polished versions of their daily existence constantly. Every post becomes a small attempt to control perception. Every reaction becomes a measurement of emotional worth. The dangerous part is how subtle this process becomes over time. Many people no longer know when they are being authentic. They confuse attention with connection and performance with confidence. Their identity slowly depends on external reactions from strangers. Another truth nobody talks about is emotional suppression. Most people are not emotionally strong in the way they appear. They are emotionally disconnected because vulnerability once felt unsafe. So they bury feelings instead of understanding them honestly. Someone may laugh while carrying years of silent resentment. Someone may appear calm while constantly battling inner anxiety. Another person may seem independent while fearing abandonment deeply. Human beings become skilled at hiding emotional chaos behind routine behavior. The mind has an interesting way of protecting unresolved pain. It distracts itself through work, entertainment, relationships, and constant stimulation. Silence becomes uncomfortable because silence reveals hidden emotions clearly. That is why many people cannot sit alone with themselves peacefully. When external distractions disappear, inner truths become impossible to ignore. Regret begins speaking louder during quiet moments at night. Unhealed memories return when life finally slows down completely, and many people realize they have been emotionally escaping themselves for years. One of the hardest realizations in psychology is this: people often repeat familiar pain because familiarity feels emotionally safe. Even unhealthy environments can feel comforting when they resemble childhood experiences. A person raised around criticism may distrust kindness naturally. Someone raised around emotional distance may fear genuine intimacy later, not because they want suffering, but because suffering feels recognizable. The mind confuses familiar emotional patterns with personal identity. This is why self-awareness becomes so important in adulthood. Without reflection, people repeat cycles they claim to hate deeply. They choose similar relationships despite promising themselves something different each time. They recreate emotional environments that match unresolved internal beliefs. Many people believe confidence comes from achievement or status, but real confidence usually comes from emotional self-acceptance. It appears when a person no longer needs constant approval. When they stop shaping themselves for every external expectation around them, that kind of confidence feels different from loud, attention-seeking behavior. It is quiet, grounded, and emotionally stable under pressure. It allows people to express honest opinions without fearing rejection constantly. because their identity is no longer dependent on public validation. Another psychological truth people avoid is projection. Humans often criticize traits in others that exist within themselves. An insecure person may constantly accuse others of arrogance. A dishonest person may become obsessed with loyalty and trust. The mind protects the ego through unconscious emotional defense mechanisms. This creates conflict, confusion, and emotional misunderstanding in relationships. Many arguments are actually reflections of unresolved personal insecurities. People also underestimate how much childhood shapes adult perception. Early experiences quietly influence beliefs about love, success, and self-worth. A child ignored emotionally may grow into an adult seeking constant reassurance. A child criticized often may become perfectionistic later in life. These patterns do not disappear automatically with age or maturity. They continue operating beneath conscious awareness for many years. That is why healing requires more than positive thinking alone. It requires honest confrontation with emotional history and hidden beliefs. One of the most freeing moments in life happens quietly. It happens when a person stops performing emotional strength constantly. When they admit they are tired, confused, hurt, or afraid, honestly, not for sympathy, but for genuine self-understanding and healing. Real healing begins when people stop judging their own emotions harshly. Emotions are signals, not evidence of weakness or failure. Ignoring them does not make them disappear permanently. It only forces them deeper into the unconscious mind. Another uncomfortable truth is that many people never truly listen. Most conversations involve waiting for a chance to respond. People hear words but miss emotional meaning underneath those words. True listening requires emotional presence, which many people lack today. Everyone wants understanding, yet few people practice deep understanding themselves. That creates emotional distance, even inside close relationships and friendships. People feel physically surrounded, yet emotionally isolated at the same time. Connection weakens when authenticity disappears from human interaction. Psychology also reveals something surprising about happiness. Happiness is rarely created through constant pleasure or comfort. It often grows from meaning, responsibility, and emotional alignment. People feel fulfilled when their actions reflect their true values. A person can have wealth, attention, and success, yet feel empty. Another person may live simply, yet feel emotionally fulfilled daily. The difference usually comes from internal alignment, not external appearance. A peaceful mind cannot be purchased through status or admiration. Many people spend years chasing an image they never truly wanted. They inherit goals from society, family, culture, or social comparison. Then one day they achieve everything and still feel unsatisfied internally. Because achievement without authenticity creates emotional exhaustion, not fulfillment. The truth nobody talks about is that self-betrayal accumulates slowly. Every time people ignore their intuition, they weaken self-trust. Every time they silence honesty, they create internal tension quietly, and eventually, they lose connection with their authentic emotional voice. But human beings are capable of rebuilding that connection again. The process starts through awareness, honesty, and uncomfortable reflection, not through perfection, but through emotional responsibility and conscious choices. Real growth begins when denial finally loses its power. The strongest people are not emotionally numb or endlessly confident. They are people willing to face themselves without constant distraction. People willing to admit painful truths without escaping into performance. People willing to grow beyond the identities built through fear. In the end, every human being wants the same thing: to feel accepted without needing to hide who they are. To experience connection without performing for love or approval constantly. That is the psychological truth nobody talks about enough. Most people are not searching for success as much as freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from masks, and freedom from emotional pretending. And the moment someone becomes honest with themselves, their real life finally begins.